Hey, hey, welcome guys. Welcome, welcome.
Hey,
Now let everybody hop on real quick.
Wait, it's 2:08, so you have to go on a 3-mile walk today.
People here. I'll leave Rick open. I'm gonna leave you open, Rick.
Is that going?
I do.
Well, Brody wants to come, so.
If you just join in, if you can mute yourself for us. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Welcome, guys. My name is Tammy Conacher. I am your host tonight, and I have my nursing partner, Rick Gross, with me tonight, and he's going to tell his story here just real quick. But I just want to do some introductions. So Rick and I went to nursing school. We won't say almost 30 years ago, but it's been almost 30 years ago. So we were study buddies. Him and Cindy Groothouse and I used to study at my house for nursing exams. And so we've known each other for a very long time. Our kids have all went to school together. We've nursed together. We've done a lot of things in life together. So he has an amazing story. I actually have my Lyme testimony that will be going on Wednesday evening. If any of you suffers with Lyme or any Lyme-related illnesses, Wednesday night at 8 p.m., there'll be 5 of us going on about our Lyme stories and how Plexus and the prebiotics and probiotics have helped that. So I won't get into my story tonight because tonight I want you to hear Rick's story about his Crohn's disease. So Rick, if you start us out, I'll let you take the lead.
all right. Okay, it started about probably 10 years ago. I had Crohn's disease, and I would be sick for 24 hours, and I would have bowel obstructions, and I would get over it myself. Doctors were amazed that I could do it. So finally, we decided we were going to do something about it. So in 2018, Tammy and I hadn't talked, and we had talked a long time ago about Plexus, but we failed to get together before surgery. And so I went in and had an elective surgery. And at that time, I came home, was doing great. Went back for my visit in a week and become obstructed. And so I was readmitted to the hospital. And at that point, they decided to do the second surgery because my bowel was obstructed totally. So they couldn't get anything. It wouldn't open. They couldn't find anything. My bowel was totally collapsed. So they put a peg tube in, and I spent 3 weeks in the hospital with my bowel shut down. And then I came home on TPN and was home for 2.5 months before I was able to get back up and get going. It finally did open back up. It was a few days before Christmas. Still wasn't able to really eat much, but I was able to do some. So then in February, I went back to work, and I called Tammy and asked her. I was traveling by her house every day, and I said, hey, what's that stuff you got? I want to try it. And so I stopped at her house, and she was so tickled that I was stopping and asking her about it. And I really didn't care. I just wanted something that would make me feel better. I was in such a slump. I felt so bad. And the pictures that you saw were not at that point. I was huge at that point. So as I got started with it, Tammy told me that no matter what, it would take 6 months or more before I'd ever feel or see anything different. So I've been on it. It would be a year in February. So I started taking it, and she was right. I really wanted to throw it out a couple times because it was like, okay, this isn't going to do anything. I'm that 30-day guy and out the door. But I kept trying it and working with it and started to feel better. And my wife started to make comments about how well that I was really looking and that I was actually doing things again and back up and going. And I told her that that's just the way illnesses happen. Could be a nurse, but then it was like, okay, the Plexus, the more I took of it, the more I did different combinations, the better I felt. So last year in September, I decided to really take a nosedive on my weight and started trying to lose weight. And I was losing weight So in the pictures that Tammy has of me was actually January 1st of this year that she has. The one was in July, the one with the wings. That was in July. And I was actually in Tennessee. That's my stepdaughter's wedding. I was right at 300 pounds. I was at 3X, and I leaked all over it. My tube was leaking. It was a miserable night because I just was so heavy. Actually, at that night of the wedding, I walked out to the trailer, was loading some things, and came to a total stop and couldn't move no more. Took me about 15 minutes to get myself back up and going. So, I was to that point that I knew that I need to lose weight. So I really got into taking my Plexus like I was supposed to. The blue shirt is January 1st of this year. I started taking it. The one in the middle was last night. I said to Tammy. So, and you know what? I never noticed it until this morning when I was talking to the girls at work. I even got some tone in my upper chest there. But it's not just, I've did the Plexus. I do it faithfully every day. The second thing is you have to form a habit of eating different and exercising. And I just did, I just finished 8 miles just a minute ago. And so you really have to do a combination. The Plexus works. That's the thing that got my bowel back into going. I take more Plexus than most people, the Biomed, because my bowel is just different at this point. The doctors have no idea what happened to it. They think it's a virus that hit it. So they're really just not for sure yet. They're still working on that, trying to see what it is. But I'm off of all my oral meds. The only thing I take is Plexus. And I was taking about 12 tablets a day, costing me about $3,000 a month. So Plexus is just saved myself. Yesterday, I did not drink my active, and I was yawning and tired all day. And my wife made the comment to me about it that, hey, you need to be drinking that every day. And so I try to give myself a little bit of a break. But this morning, I fixed my coffee, made it, and out the door, drank it. And I tell you what, right now at this point, I am like going 500 miles an hour. And I feel good. As I said, I just finished 8 miles. And so I'm up going. So I did a little something tonight just to show you what has really happened to me. So nothing mean. So this was my shirt that I was wearing at the time. This is a 2X. So I'm down to just a large, and I won't. This is a terrible shirt that my wife hates because it's a muscle man shirt. And I got it because I have my tube and that. But these are my pants that I was wearing. Let's see. These are 40s, and they just fall off. This is a pair of large that I just bought last night, and I still have lots of room in there that I could probably go down, but these are comfortable. So, I mean, it's just been amazing myself. And even after looking last night after the pictures that we sent to Tammy, it was just amazing. My wife and I was looking at them, and it's just amazing to see the big difference myself. If you notice, I don't have the skin hanging and stuff. I take collagen. I've been taking it all along. I only take 1 scoop. Recommended is 2, but I just do the minimal. But I tell you, I have found that I don't have the hangy, loose skin. It's just awesome. This has really just brought me out of I feel like I was dying. And I really, when I went back to work, I could hardly do my desk job. And a desk job is not everything I do. I'm in the field part of the time. So at the present time, I'm running my tail off because I'm doing PPE for staff throughout the state and running in different directions. And now I'm taking on phone calls and doing things. So it's just, I mean, I really wish Tammy would have slapped me earlier and got me on board earlier. But it's just awesome. I can't say enough.
I think that what people realize or don't realize it is coming from the medical profession. You know, Rick and Debbie and I all come from the medical profession, and it was so hard. It was so hard for a mindset for me to get past the mindset that this was a multi-level marketing company. And what would my friend Rick, who's in medicine with me, what would he think of me if I call him and say, "Hey, I've got this product that's going to just change your life"? And I doubted myself. I knew what it did for me, 9 years of hell with Lyme disease and giving my life back, but I doubted that he would believe it would do anything for him. And I had to get past that, and I didn't, and I failed in getting to Rick before he had to have a surgery that could have cost him his life. So I regret that, but I'm so thankful Rick stopped out the other day, and it was just like, I got my old friend back. Like, it's awesome.
And Tammy was the same way. She just kind of dropped off the earth with her Lyme, and I see her husband now and then, but I never see her. And then when she bubbled back, it was really great to see her. We just didn't talk business in this way. And now it is, I talk business every time I'm with somebody. My problem is that I work for the state and I can't talk business with a lot of people. But today we were doing conference calls and I had a picture of my plexus behind me. Somebody was asking questions and I said, we can hook you up with that. So in my office, I have 2 pictures of it. And you know what? As long as they're asking me, I'm okay, but I can't promote within where I'm at. But hey, I want to get people to understand that this is something that has saved my life.
Yeah, legit. And what you guys don't know, what Rick didn't say was when he stopped out here, he was barely able to mow his yard. He's like, I would run out of breath just trying to mow my yard. He's like, I can't even get a mower through my yard. And now look at him.
I'm doing 2 yards now a week and like 5 miles, 8 miles today. I got the energy. It's just there. Love
it. Thank you, Rick, for sharing with us.
You're welcome.
Right. Let's just go forward here. You saw Rick, that was his bill, like I said, January. And this is him now, which is phenomenal. But I want to also show you what inflammation in the body looks like. So the next pictures you're going to see are actually of Debbie Proctor and myself. This was me with my Lyme disease. This picture was taken in Haiti. We just got done with some mission work over there in Haiti. I was still very sick. Debbie just had normal aging. She didn't really have any health related issues. She said I just had the aches and pains of aging, felt tired all the time. Just knew that she saw a big difference in me at church, and she's like, whatever you're doing, I want to try. I want to see if this will help with my aging pain. So you can see there's quite a bit of inflammation in both of us. This is all inflammatory weight. This is not necessarily, like Debbie will tell you, that the difference in this picture and this picture is only a few pounds of weight. That's not like you would think it'd be 15, 16 pounds of weight. That is just inflammation weight that you're seeing right there. Let's go to the next picture. Okay, I have a lot of moms that get a hold of me. Their children are on Miralax. I hate Miralax. I hated it as a surgery nurse. I hated it as a recovery nurse. I hated Miralax. I do not like. It's got polyethylene glycol as a component of what they use in antifreeze. And I don't like the fact that we're putting some of those chemicals in our bodies, especially our little tykes. I don't like it. So as you see, this child has some really bad GI issues, very bloated, problems with constipation and going. Put them on BioCleanse. BioCleanse is phenomenal for children. Like if I have a child that's 5 or under, I'll tell a parent to just put half of a capsule in whatever they can get it in, applesauce or whatever they can get it in. If it's a baby, I'll just tell them if it's a nursing baby or bottle fed, just to put a little bit on their finger and let the baby suck on their finger to get their little bowels going. So it is absolutely wonderful. It's oxygenated magnesium, so it is completely safe. Like for Rick and I, both, you'll see my pictures later. I had SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So my bowel actually kind of looked like this child right here. I was unable to move my bowels as well. I would take enemas, laxatives, and stool softeners just to be able to have 1 bowel movement a week with my Lyme disease. So Rick and I both will take a lot more BioCleanse than probably a normal person, but we adjust this to whatever like if your stools are normal, then we'll say maybe you just need 1 or 2. But if you're more like Rick and I who have had bowel issues, we can take 8, 10, 12 of these a day, depending on what the day's like. So you adjust that accordingly. All right, collagen. As Rick said, you can see right here, this is only a matter of less than a month for this woman. So this is the skin in just a month with collagen. Collagen is 2 scoops of the powder. As Rick says, he only does the one, but it's 2 scoops of powder. You can put it in coffee. You can put it in milk. You can put juice, water. It's tasteless, so you don't even taste it. Love it. I didn't think I was noticing a difference, but I'll be 50 in, well, next week. Next week I'll be 50. And I remember reaching up to my forehead and I was like, oh my gosh, my forehead's smooth. I don't have the wrinkles. And then I was starting to get mom hands. You know, how you look down and you finally start to see your mom's hands. It was like, oh, so my hands are smooth. So I put mine on at night, my Joy on at night, just rub it in, and I use the collagen. This is my husband's hair. So this is how I've always known my husband. Like, my husband's always had thinning hair on top, never thought much of it. We both had started the collagen, and my husband has hair growing. So we've actually got quite a few fellows now that have had actually some hair loss that have actually gone the collagen. And actually Bill ran into one today and he was like, don't you ever shave anymore? He's like, I can't keep up because of the collagen. So it's kind of fun. But I didn't even think about the effects of alopecia, which is hair loss. You know, a lot of women struggle with alopecia, with, you know, that natural hair loss and the thinning of the hair. And that's really hard on a woman's psyche. So the collagen is a fabulous product for hair and nail growth, and for the skin. Like Rick said, anybody that's lost a lot of weight, that collagen helps to bring that skin back in. Love it. All right. People ask me all the time about pregnancy and Plexus. Can I take Plexus with pregnancy? Absolutely, you can. Absolutely. I love Plexus pregnancies. So this is Shoshana Easling. Shoshana also is a Lyme patient. Her and her young son had Lyme disease. Her video is very, very moving. She talked about how hard it was to be happy when you were so sick. And it's so hard for me to watch that video because that was my story. It was hard to be happy when I was so sick, and I was a happy person. So it was a struggle every day. This is her second baby post Lyme disease. And this is only 5 days after she delivered that baby. So you can see how great she looks. This little gal goes to church with us. This little gal had multiple urinary tract infections. You'd look at her and you'd say, she don't need anything. She looks pretty good. Well, this little gal approached me and said, hey, listen, I've had some issues. I've lost 3 pregnancies and I keep having multiple urinary tract infections and I can't carry a baby. Do you think your products could help me? And I'm like, you know what? You're on antibiotics all the time. Let's get you on a prebiotic. Let's get you on the probiotics. Let's get you on the methylated vitamin. And as you can see, we have a beautiful baby now. So I'm so excited. This last picture here is a good friend of mine, Krista Casey. This is 1 day before she delivered that baby. And you can see that there's no ankle swelling. There's no extra fluid on her body at all. So this is what most Plexus pregnancies look like. That's stable blood sugar. That's the fluids. They don't have any fluid accumulation. Their pregnancies are healthy. Their babies come out happy, not colicky. Their little guts are healthy because they're getting their probiotics from their mom. So I love pregnancy and Plexus. All right, this is our Joyome. This is the day and night serum. Most people don't even think about that your skin is the largest organ of your body. So if we have microbiome in our gut, the microbiome of our skin is even greater. So this right here is some eczema, but here's some really bad acne. And you can see here, and I've actually had a couple of acne patients that are cleared up in a week with Joyome, which is just the day and night serum. So it does great for an eczema like this. Sometimes you can even take this Joyome and break open a probio capsule and make a paste, and it actually clears that up a little faster even. Okay, so what is our basic products? People say, what, if I'm gonna start on something, what do you want me to start on? I tried to individualize as Rick came out here. You know, Rick was a little bit more complex when you deal with GI issues, but what's my basic go-to? My basic go-to is this one right here, which is a triplex. It is the Slim, which is a prebiotic, and it also stabilizes blood glucose levels. It's got chromium in it. So chromium is great for stabilizing blood glucose. This is the natural energy that you see everybody have every day. It says, I just feel good. Like Rick said, I just feel good. I want to go. That's because he has stable blood sugar. That's because his blood sugar is not spiking and dipping all day long. That chromium is keeping his blood sugar regulated all day. So this is great for that. It is also a prebiotic. So once you put that in your water, you shake that up and you drink it within 30 minutes because it activates that prebiotic fiber in it. The BioCleanse we talked about is the oxygenated magnesium. It is great for the bowels. It's great for a smooth muscle relaxer after a strenuous workout. It's great for sleep. I used to take Ambien as a nurse to sleep. I think all medical people have been through them all. Benadryl, Ambien, we've been through them all as nurses and doctors. BioCleanse is absolutely fabulous for sleep. Our ProBio, I can tell you as a Lyme patient, I was on antibiotics for 9 years. They rotated my antibiotics every 3 months. I had been on numerous probiotics. Some of them were hundreds of dollars. Our ProBio here, the reason it is different is because it has chitin in it. Chitinase or chitin breaks down biofilms. So when you saw those pictures of all that bloat that we all had, that bloat is because of yeast overgrowth in the body. So when you break down yeast, you break down the definitive causes of diabetes, cholesterol, hypertension. Those are all effects of why the body is in an inflammatory state. So when you start breaking down those biofilms of yeast and the biofilms of Lyme disease, this is the one that's working so well. I will tell you, you will have a die-off, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Because we are breaking down the yeast, the body has to get rid of it. So another one I like to start this, my men do better on this one. So this is the other probiotic that we have. We also have X Factor Plus. So we still have the same Slim here, but the VitaBiome has 7 strains of good bacteria. This one is a great one. It's got some absolutely fabulous strains for mood, anxiety, depression, any tension. This one is a critical one, I feel, for everybody right now in the world that we're living in. Love VitaBiome. It's kind of a joke among all of us in Plexus. This is the Xanax of Plexus. It is absolutely great for mood and just stabilization. Our X Factor, it's a methylated vitamin, fully methylated vitamin. As a Lyme patient, I had no detectable levels of vitamin D, and I had no detectable levels of vitamin D. It didn't matter how much they gave me. I just had none. What I came to learn from seeing a doctor that actually had Lyme himself is that I carried a gene called the MTHFR gene. Now, it kind of sounds funny, but it's the mother effer gene. And the reason being, you get one gene from your mother and one gene from your father. So those people that carry that gene do not process vitamins. We can't take nitrous oxide from the doctor's office. We can't take certain chemo drugs. It's harder to anesthetize us. It takes more anesthesia. You'll notice that if you work in a hospital with those type of patients, they require a lot of more narcotics. So if they're in pain, you'll notice that some patients require more. It's because they're not processing. So their bodies it takes more to process. So the X Factor Plus is great. It is absolutely phenomenal. My levels have all been normal since. I only went to the doctor 5 weeks after. I've not been to a doctor in 3 years, so that tells you how good I'm doing. But this is also great for hormonal women, for anybody who's going through menopause or PMS problems too. Hot flashes, absolutely great vitamin, great energy as well. So people say to me, what is the difference between the microbiome activating Slim and the hunger control Slim? The reason that there's a difference is this one the hunger control has the polydextrose fiber added to it. This is the one that I have my diabetics go on because it helps fill their guts faster, so they don't have the cravings throughout the day. So they're not craving and eating foods they shouldn't be eating. Plus I have my GI patients go on this. They need that extra polysoluble fiber. Those Crohn's patients, those celiac patients, those diverticulitis, any of those, the GI issues, they need that fiber. They have that leaky gut, so they need that fiber to fill in those junctions. So this is the one I have them usually start with. But both are great. They both have the prebiotic fibers, which is the xylosaccharides in it. So, and they both have the chromium for blood sugar stabilization. So great ones. The ProBio 5, you'll notice that it has the protease. There's that chitosanase. That's that yeast buster by breaking the biofilms down. It lowers cholesterol. My patients, almost all of them that have had labs, within 5 weeks, their cholesterol will drop 100 points. When you have physician's offices calling you and nurse practitioner friends calling you going, what in the heck are you doing? Because I've not seen their cholesterol drop like this, or their blood sugars drop to normal. Their A1Cs are going down. ProBio 5, it's doing it. The serapeptase works by dissolving non-living tissue, blood clots, cysts, arterial plaques, and inflammation in the body. So I love ProBio. The BioCleanse, that's that oxygenated magnesium again. But you notice here it's got the vitamin C added to it. So that vitamin C helps to lower blood sugars and blood pressure. So people will say, do I need to watch if I'm on a blood pressure medicine? I say check it often, because we'll eventually end up, most of them get off their blood pressure medicine. So just check it once a week. Also with your blood sugars. If I have a diabetic starting, I'll say make sure you're monitoring your blood sugars, because eventually we're going to end up pulling you off. We're going to have you call your doctor. We're going to say, this is my readings this week. What do you want me to do? Most of them have gone off their insulin, and most of them now are off their oral agents. So it's really exciting as a nurse to be able to see people coming off of some of those. Vital biome. You can see it's got 7 different strains of good bacteria here. The lactobacillus, the bacillus coagulans, the plantarum, the Saccharomyces boulardii, the bifidobacterium longum, the lactobacillus acidophilus, and the bifidobacterium lactis. A lot of these you'll see have respiratory, so they help with respiratory. So this is a critical one right now. You'll see here too, Lyme disease on this boulardii. But a lot of these are the respiratory. That's why I have a lot of people taking these right now, to help strengthen that immune system with just everything that we've got going on right now. But it's just this one's a powerhouse. You put these two together. Metaburn is for adrenal and thyroid support. So it is incredible for mood. These two right here together, there's a psychiatric doctor in Springfield that numerous of my patients see, that she actually has them do these and actually tries to get them off of their prescription drugs, which I love. So I love to hear a doctor saying that she's getting them off by doing these. I have a physician that's an ER physician friend. He says that this is what helps him get through a night shift at work. He said that rhodiola, he said, oh my gosh, it's like a dream. Just incredible. So Metaburns for adrenal and thyroid support. I believe we're in an adrenal kind of world right now. We are taxed, we are stressed with everything that we're seeing in the media, everything going on around us. And I think the adrenals are just shot. We're in a constant fight or flight mode. So the Metaburn is huge right now. So this combo right here is a Mix and Glow combo. So you got somebody that says, hey, I'm not really interested in the gut. I just want my skin to look better. I'm older. I just want my skin to start tone. The Slim is actually the great one because it stabilizes the blood sugar, but then you get your collagen, so you get the toning that goes along with that. And then we've got the collagen and joyome complex, and then you get a 7-day, just a 7-day sample of the Slim. So this is the day and night serum. This is the day serum. This is the night serum. This is a microbiome activating serum. It is done by a dermatologist that created this. She's fabulous. So she's took into account, and you got to realize that when she did this, she did it to the European standards. So our standards in America will allow us to put a lot of chemicals that shouldn't be in cosmetics, but they went by the European standards, which are very strict on chemicals that go into cosmetics. So Healthy Advanced. So Rick did a lot of this because Rick wanted the lean. He wanted the shakes. Bill and I love the shakes. I don't like protein shakes. They were always chalky to me. Love these protein shakes. It comes in vanilla and chocolate. I'll do vanilla in the morning. I put just a couple of drops of orange essence, essential oil in mine. It tastes like a dreamsicle. So Bill does the chocolate, and he actually puts his Slim in his chocolate in the morning as collagen. So it just depends on what you want. The one thing I haven't talked about is Balance. Balance is great for diabetics. It actually has cinnamon bark extract, white kidney bean extract. So that helps to actually stabilize the blood sugar. So it's really good for my diabetics. I try to get them on it. I have one gentleman that he was shocked at his blood sugar. He was 73 and it hadn't been 73 for so long. He actually drove home to show his spouse his blood sugar. He couldn't believe that his blood sugar was normal after all this time. So that's really fun as a nurse to hear stuff like that. Okay, Dr. John Logan came from NASA. He was with NASA for 22 years as the physician for our astronauts, and he came to Plexus on our medical advisory board. Well, when all this started happening with COVID, he said, I want to put together an immunity packet, what I can get people on that I think can keep their immune system strong enough. So what he wanted in that was the methylated vitamin, the Vital Biome. You got to realize that 4 strains of that are for respiratory. The ProBio, which is going to break down any of those biofilms. That's a great probiotic and breaks down the yeast. And then Ease, which is it for inflammation. You have a slide on Ease, so we'll go into Ease here in a minute. There's your Ease. Ease is fabulous. I don't know that anybody that's ever been on Plexus will not tell you that this is not one of their favorite products. Ease is amazing. It reduces inflammation in the body. You see this eye, I know you can't tell it now, but for those of you that Marco Poloed me this weekend, I got bit by a gnat right there in the eye, and I looked like somebody had punched me in the eye all weekend, swollen. I literally took 9 of those yesterday, and as you can see, my eye's completely fine. And yesterday it was huge swollen, looked like somebody punched me. So love ease. I do this for numerous different people with back problems, people with inflammatory weight, like with Rick's inflammation in the body. A lot of my GI patients, even my kiddos with GI issues with diverticulitis or Crohn's, I put ease on. Ease is great for reducing any inflammation in the body. Now I'll show you a picture of that here real quick. Here's 2 examples. This is my belly. This is a very vulnerable part for me. This was me almost 3 years ago. This was 4 doctors later, and nobody could tell me why my belly was so distended and why I could not move my bowels. My mother died of pancreatic cancer. My mother had died of pancreatic cancer. She's been 10 years ago now. So you can imagine the fear in my mind when nobody could tell me, and they actually saw a spot on my pancreas, they thought. So you can imagine the fear in my mind as a nurse when my abdomen started to look like this. So 4 different doctors, and I finally took this picture and I sent it to a friend of mine, a surgeon friend of mine out in Colorado. And she says to me, that's actually SIBO. You have SIBO, and she ordered the proper testing. And sure enough, I had a methane SIBO, which is a harder SIBO to treat. But I've treated it completely with Plexus. I have not done any prescription medications for SIBO whatsoever, even though I was diagnosed with SIBO medically. So, but I have done nothing but the Plexus products. Here you can see the difference in the ease. This is only a couple of weeks. If you look at the dates, this is only a couple of weeks of ease. This is a lot of what we call a congestive heart failure. This is like a lot of swelling from congestive heart failure. There's a lot of research done on cardiovascular health right now with actually probiotics and prebiotics and how important they are to cardiovascular health and for the congestive heart failures. So, okay, one of the things I do want to go quickly with is people that start the products will say, oh, I got a headache, I'm allergic to it. Or, oh, I broke out with a rash, I'm allergic to it. No, your body is breaking down toxins. When your body breaks down toxins, they go into what we call free radicals. Free radicals circulate in your body. They've got nowhere else to go until you get them out of your system. Drinking lots of water, Alka-Seltzer Gold binds with toxins, lemon water, flushing those out, the BioCleanse, the ease. So this is why I start almost everybody when I start with the ease, is I try to knock that die-off down for you so that you don't have such a bad die-off reaction. It's nothing to have some nausea, some headache and fatigue, some dizziness, some swollen glands, some bloating, some gas and constipation or diarrhea, increase the joint pain or muscle pain, maybe even an elevated heart rate, some chills, cold feelings in your extremities, the body itchiness, hives or rashes, sweating, fever, skin breakouts, recurring vaginal or prostate and sinus infections. Don't think that those are a problem. Those go away very, very quickly. I will tell you, just from having a major die-off myself as a Lyme patient, it was awful. I spent about a week and a half in bed very sick with my die-off. But as a nurse, I knew something was going on. It was like, what is going on with my body? And I was more interested, like science, like why is this doing this? So I kind of pressed into it. I give people the option. I say, we can either start you hard and fast, get through your die-off, go fast, or we can start you slow and you can work through that die-off slow. Most of us that have had Lyme disease have been through hell for so many years. We just say, let's do it. Let's get it over with. Hit me up hard. I'd rather spend a week in bed sick and know that I'm going to be better on the other side. So awesome. So let's see. Let's see, posted on the medical professionals page. Yes, Angie, I can post it. I will post it in the medical professionals page. If you have any questions, or Rick or Debbie, you have any other comments? There you go.
The only thing I have to say about the ease is that I can't take Motrin, and the doctors recommended me to take Tylenol, and Tylenol does nothing for me. And at first I was like, the ease is not something, is going to work. But I take ease, and I tell you what, like this evening, I'll take 2 before I go to bed because I did 8 miles today. and I sleep very comfortable and wake up feeling refreshed in the morning. So it's really great. It has a little fishy taste or smell to it whenever you take it, but that doesn't, you don't belch it or do anything. I mean, it's gone within seconds, and it works great.
Mm-hmm. Another thing, I've heard somebody, which I'm like you, Rick, it doesn't bother me anymore. But if that fishy smell does bother you, I've heard somebody say to put it in the freezer or put it in the refrigerator, and they said the fishy taste and smell doesn't. But it doesn't bother me anymore, but it does at first. When you first start, it's like, whoa, that's bad. But yeah.
Yeah, don't sniff it.
No, no. Any thoughts, Debbie?
No, I don't think so. I agree about the ease, and I find too the X Factor. It has that nasty vitamin-y, a real strong vitamin-y smell. But you get used to that too, and just
Yeah.
go.
I think about the same thing with it too. Probably if you put it in the refrigerator, you probably could get rid of that.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm. So awesome. Well, we will have this recorded. So if anybody needs a recording of it, just reach out to one of us and we will get that to you. But I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We tried to keep it brief for you so we didn't occupy a lot of your time. But if nobody has any other questions, we will let you guys go for the night. No questions? All righty. All right. Well, thanks, guys. We appreciate you guys joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you learned something tonight. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Great.